Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be talking about booking travel post-COVID. Obviously there's a lot of aspects that need to be taken into consideration, but we will be looking at the safest possible way to do it, as well as, please excuse the cars in the background, as well as how you can book your trip, book your flights, etc., and just make sure it's as safe as possible and that you're not going to lose out. So where am I going? Oh, the sun is just... in fact, no sun. So where will I be travelling to? I will be going to the Spanish island of Mallorca, specifically Palma, for a conference with Traverse. It's a content creator conference. There'll be meetings, networking, and weekday events and activities as well, so I'm super excited. Hopefully we'll get to explore the island a bit and yeah, learn lots of cool stuff and meet lots of fantastic people. Also, please excuse the background at the moment, because if you've seen my last video, I'm moving. This is temporary. So I'm going to go through a few bits. I will discuss how to prepare, what you need to do, what to look out for, and also some tips and tricks as I go through and book a few bits and pieces like the flights and the accommodation and things. So let's get started. Firstly, how can you prepare for your trip? Well, there's two main things that you can do, one of which is to eat healthily. These are obviously like just basic things, but it's a good way to keep your immune system up and hopefully avoid the dreaded C word. So eat healthily and lots of exercise beforehand, just so you can prep your body and make sure you're in the best physical condition for travel. So something else you can do to prepare, which is key, like so key. If you do one thing, this is probably the one main thing you need to do, is check the government website, the travel gov website. That will give you information on every single country, if it's safe to travel, the FCO advice, which is crucial. You need to follow that just so you're covered for any insurance, or you know, it's just recommended you follow that. And the WHO website, that will give you more information on the COVID situation here and in other countries as well. So just make sure that you do your research. So check out the country, check out the rules. This is the key preparation stage for any trip. Make sure you've got all the information that you need to then go to the next stage. So this is maybe the worst topic, but necessary. And that's just making sure you've got travel insurance. Ooh. Also, make sure that your insurance is booked from way before, or at least a day before you book your flights. Not many people realise this, but in order to be covered for the flights before you depart, you need to ensure that your insurance starts before you book them. Because just to sort of illustrate, if you were to book your flights and then book your insurance only covering you for your trip, that space in between before you travel is not covered. So if your flights get cancelled in that space, you're not covered. So if you are going to book insurance, which I definitely recommend doing, make sure you book it before you book anything else, and then you should be covered. But again, check in the policy. It's a suggestion that it needs to be done. Obviously, it's entirely up to you, but I really recommend doing it. I would say though, as I've been looking, I have noticed that a few insurance policies have brought out an extra COVID cover, so it's worth just checking that you have got that on there. I would recommend looking out for that. I think in a few policies it just makes sure that if you do get COVID before you travel, you're still covered for the insurance. As I say though, with insurance it is a really personal thing. Just look into it, make sure you read the small print, make sure you check out if they do cover as much COVID related things as you can. And for me specifically, I am looking for extra gadget cover, or at least a bit more on that sort of side of things. So if you are traveling with cameras and stuff like that, just look into that as well. But yeah, that's step one, insurance. Step two, food. Step two. So next up, I'm going to buy my ticket for the conference. It's Traverse 21, which is a content creators event run by Traverse. There's networking, loads of masterclasses, weekday events, evening events and stuff, so I'm super excited and I'm going to book my ticket now. Okay, so I've done my ticket and now I'm going to look for my flights. Now, I say look for my flights. What I would suggest is getting in that preparation stage, so before you do anything else, check out the flights, check out the accommodation, check out like the insurance and everything, and then go through and book it. So make sure that you can get everything that it's like at an affordable price, because you don't want to have booked your flights and then see that all the accommodation options are like ridiculous. So check everything out and do your research first in that initial stage that I mentioned, and then go through and book. So onto the flights. I usually use Skyscanner, and currently as I'm looking through the list of flights, you know, you get the flights that come up on the left, like bottom left hand side of the tickets. I'll show you now. Now, when you're looking at your flights, it's worth clicking that button. It will give you more information on the COVID, what they've called like a COVID confidence, and this will tell you the cancellation policies and stuff like that, like how flexible your ticket is. And I definitely recommend looking at flights with this option, just so you've got that peace of mind. So for example, these flights I've got here, they say we're offering flexible options to change your flight to a later date online up to 14 days before travel, without a change fee. So it's worth checking out that option and just seeing what you're working with. It does also let you know of the extra precautions that the airline's taking, so you can see whether they've got face masks, whether it's deep cleaned, all that kind of thing as well, just for extra peace of mind. And if you can, go with that flexible option. It does seem to vary on each airline, so check it out. Like, I think BA is different to EasyJet, etc, etc, so just check that out. So next up is the accommodation. Now, I have found a hotel. I did a bit of research beforehand. I think it's nearby the old part of the city, so within walking distance. It's also within walking distance of the conference, which is really important. So whenever you're looking at a hotel, I definitely recommend getting up Google Maps, having a look at like how close it is to where you need to be. Also, you can do Street View, which is cool, so you can kind of see, get like a feel for the area. I also make sure to check the reviews and any traveller pictures. So I know on sites like TripAdvisor, you can have a look at the images that travellers have taken. I do find that a little bit more trustworthy combined with the reviews, so you can get a really good idea of what you're working with. Again, similarly to the flights, when you're booking your accommodation, there's various cancellation options. So when you're looking at the room, I know like on things like booking.com, obviously, you know, there's loads of other websites similar to this that you can use, but they do give you like a price. So for example, here you can see the price for 5 nights. And if you go down, you can view all the different cancellation options. Just here, so you've got free cancellation before midnight on the 16th of November, so that's about a week before, but if you keep going down, so the day that I will arrive is the 24th of November, so the option I'd go for here would be free cancellation on that day, just to be extra safe. So yeah, it's really worth looking at those cancellation options when you're booking your accommodation. I'm probably going to go personally for the cancellation on the day, just because you never know what's going to happen up till then. So yeah, I would recommend that, but obviously it's up to you. So those are kind of the key things that you need to book for your trip. Obviously, this is just the process before you actually get travelling or packing for your travel or anything like that, and I will cover that in future videos. I do have a few extra tips for travel at the moment though. So obviously when you're planning, it is wise, like I said initially, just to keep your eye on any restrictions, any changes. If you check out the government websites and the ones that I mentioned before, just stay up to date, just to make sure you're as safe as possible and your plans are not going to get ruined, basically. On that note, it's great to follow the FCO advice. Great, I mean, it's essential. Make sure you follow that, otherwise it could invalidate your insurance and things. And check out the country's policies as well, because, you know, we can be up to date with ours, but you need to just check what the entry requirements are, things like that as well. A reminder to check all of your cancellation policies. Hate reading small print, but in this instance where everything's a bit crazy, it is best to check. If you don't have a destination in mind already, then it is wise to look a little bit closer to home. Obviously, you know, it's entirely up to you and checking the restrictions and everything, but with traveling closer to home, it just means you're closer, so if you need to get back, flights are a bit easier, you might even be able to drive. It's just for that extra safety measure, really. If you want to start closer to home, it just means it's easy for you to get back, if anything. Hopefully doesn't, but if it does go wrong. Also, make sure you are Also make sure you're checking the quarantine rules on entry and on exit, because that's really important. You don't want to get caught out. Obviously there's loads of information to take in. I know I've completely like bombarded you with information. If you need to rewatch the video, make notes. This is the prep kind of stage, the booking stage. As I get closer to my trip, I will obviously take you with me. That will be through the packing stage, preparing anything you need to get ready, such as masks or hand sanitizer, all that stuff. Also, obviously traveling, the airport, the plane experience, and exploring Palma and being at the conference. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, follow me on Instagram at wildeversince. And yeah, looking forward to my first trip post-COVID, obviously aside from moving. Thank you for watching. Can't wait to go on my first trip. Hopefully that has helped you to plan and hopefully book your trip post-COVID. If you're anything like me, I cannot wait. Let me know in the comments where you will be going. If you have any extra questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!